Please, sir. You have to pretend you're dead. The maid's words hit Jude Davies like a bullet. It was midnight. Rain hammered the windows. And Jessica, his quiet, loyal maid, stood shaking in his bedroom doorway with tears streaming down her face. Someone close to you is planning to kill you, she whispered. Someone you trust with your whole heart. Jude's blood turned to ice. Who? Jessica took a deep breath. And when she said the name, Jude's entire world shattered into a million pieces. It was someone he never saw coming. Someone he loved more than life itself. And in 72 hours, Jude Davies would be dead. Hello friends, welcome to our story. Before we start, please like this video, share, and subscribe. Also tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Is it United States, London, maybe Canada, Jamaica, Barbados, or anywhere? We want to know. The clock struck midnight in the huge mansion on Riverside Avenue. Rain pounded against the tall windows like angry fists. Inside, everything was quiet. Too quiet. Jessica stood in the dark hallway, her heart beating so loud she could hear it in her ears. Her hands were shaking. She had been working as a maid in this house for 3 years, and she had never felt this scared. Not even once. She took a deep breath and knocked on the heavy wooden door of the master bedroom. Mr. Davies? Sir, are you awake? No answer. She knocked again, harder this time. Mr. Davies, please. I need to talk to you. It's important. Very, very important. Finally, she heard footsteps. The door swung open, and there stood Jude Davies in his silk pajamas, looking angry and confused. He was a tall man with tired eyes and graying hair at his temples. Rich. Powerful. Used to getting exactly what he wanted. Jessica? He snapped, checking his expensive gold watch. It's midnight. What could possibly be so important that you're banging on my door like the house is on fire? Jessica's mouth went dry. How could she say this? How could she make him believe her? Sir, She started, then stopped. Her voice was trembling. I know this will sound crazy. I know you'll think I've lost my mind. But please, please listen to me. Jude crossed his arms. I'm listening. You have 1 minute. Jessica looked down the dark hallway, making sure no one else was there. Then she looked straight into Jude's eyes and said the words that would change everything. Sir, you need to pretend you're dead. Jude stared at her. For a moment, he said nothing. Then his face turned red with anger. What did you just say to me? Please, sir, just listen. Have you been drinking? Are you sick? What kind of sick joke is this? It's not a joke. Jessica's voice came out louder than she meant it to. She lowered it to a whisper. Someone wants to kill you, Mr. Davies. Someone very close to you. Someone you trust with your whole heart. Jude laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was cold and mean. Oh, I see. You've been watching too many movies. Is that it? You think this is some kind of thriller? I heard them talking, Jessica said quickly. Her words came out fast now, tumbling over each other. 2 nights ago. I was cleaning the study on the 2nd floor. The door to the library was open just a crack. I heard voices. 2 men. They were planning it. Planning how to make it look like an accident. How to make sure you never wake up again. Jude's smile faded. What are you talking about? Who was it? Jessica took another deep breath. This was the hardest part. The part that would make him hate her or believe her. It was your brother, sir. It was Caleb. The hallway went completely silent. Even the rain seemed to stop for a moment. Jude's face went white, then red, then white again. You're lying, he whispered. I wish I was, Jessica said, and tears filled her eyes. I wish more than anything that I was lying. But I heard him. I heard every word. He said that once you're gone, everything becomes his. The business. The money. The house. Everything. He's been planning this for months. Jude stepped back like she had slapped him. Caleb would never. He's my brother. My only family. We built this company together. We've been together since we were children. That's why it's the perfect plan, Jessica said softly. Because you trust him. Because you would never see it coming. Jude turned away from her, walking to the window. He pressed his hand against the cold glass. Outside, the city lights twinkled like stars. Somewhere out there, his brother was sleeping in his own mansion, maybe dreaming about the day Jude would be gone. This is insane, Jude muttered. Absolutely insane. I know how it sounds, Jessica said, stepping closer. But sir, I've worked in this house for 3 years. I've never lied to you. Not once. Not about anything. Why would I start now? What would I gain from making up something so horrible? Jude turned to face her. His eyes were searching her face, looking for any sign that she was crazy or lying or playing some cruel game. What exactly did you hear? He asked quietly. Jessica closed her eyes, remembering. I heard Caleb talking to another man. I didn't see the other man's face, but I heard his voice. It was deep and rough. Caleb said, by Friday, it'll all be over. We'll make it look like his heart gave out. He works too hard anyway. Everyone will believe it. And then the other man said, what about the maid? What about the staff? And Caleb laughed. He laughed, sir. And he said, they're nothing. Nobody will listen to them. Jude felt like the floor was moving under his feet. Friday. That was 3 days away. There's more, Jessica continued, her voice breaking. Caleb said something else. He said, my dear brother has no idea how much I've hated him. All these years, watching him get everything. The respect. The praise. Father's love. While I got nothing but scraps. Sir, he's not just doing this for money. He's doing it because he hates you. A cold feeling spread through Jude's chest. He thought about all the years with Caleb. All the memories. Playing together as children. Building the company together as adults. Every birthday. Every holiday. Every celebration. Had Caleb been hating him the whole time? Had every smile been fake? Every hug been a lie? I can't believe this, Jude whispered. But deep down, something was starting to click into place. Small things he had ignored. The way Caleb's smile never reached his eyes anymore. The way he asked too many questions about Jude's schedule. The strange meetings Caleb took in dark corners. The phone calls that ended when Jude walked into the room. You have to pretend to be dead, Jessica said urgently. It's the only way to catch him. The only way to prove what he's planning. If we go to the police now, we have no evidence. It's just my word against his. And sir, no offense, but who are they going to believe? A rich, respected businessman like Caleb Davies? Or a maid? Jude knew she was right. Without proof, Caleb would walk free. And then he would be more careful. More dangerous. How would we even do this? Jude asked slowly. How do you fake a death? For the first time that night, hope flickered in Jessica's eyes. I have a plan, sir. But we'll need help. We'll need people we can trust completely. And we need to move fast. Because Friday is coming. Thunder crashed outside, so loud it shook the windows. In that moment, standing in his bedroom at midnight with his maid, Jude Davies made a choice that would change everything. Tell me your plan, he said. Jessica stepped closer, lowering her voice even more. First, we need to contact the police. But not the regular police. We need detectives who handle serious crimes. Murder plots. Conspiracy. My cousin works in that department. I trust him with my life. He can help us set up surveillance. Recording devices. Cameras. We need to catch Caleb in the act. And the fake death? Jude asked. We make it look like an accident. Tomorrow night. You'll be working late in your office at home, like you always do. You'll have a drink, like you always do. But this time, we make it look like the drink was poisoned. You'll collapse. I'll call for help. But it'll be too late. The doctor who arrives will be working with us. He'll pronounce you dead. Word will spread. And then we wait. Wait for what? We wait for Caleb to reveal himself, Jessica said. When he thinks you're dead, he'll move fast. He'll try to take control of everything. And that's when he'll make mistakes. That's when we'll get the proof we need. Jude walked to his bed and sat down heavily. His whole world was spinning. Just an hour ago, his biggest problem was a business deal that wasn't closing fast enough. Now he was planning his own fake death to catch his brother trying to murder him. Where will I hide? He asked. There's an old apartment building on the east side of the city. It's owned by someone my cousin trusts. You'll stay there. We'll have police watching you 24 hours a day. You'll be safe. And if something goes wrong? If Caleb finds out I'm alive? Jessica's face went serious. Then we'll be in real danger, sir. Both of us. Because Caleb won't stop. Not until we're both dead. The clock on the wall ticked loudly. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3. Why are you doing this? Jude asked suddenly. You could just quit. Walk away. Pretend you never heard anything. Why risk your life for me? Jessica looked at him with tears shining in her eyes. Because it's the right thing to do, sir. And because you've been kind to me. When my mother was sick last year, you paid for her hospital bills without me even asking. When my nephew needed money for school, you helped. You didn't have to do any of that. Most rich people wouldn't. But you did. So yes, I'm risking my life for you. Because you're a good man. And good men shouldn't die because of evil brothers. Jude felt something break inside his chest. All this time, he had thought Jessica was just a maid. Just someone who cleaned his house and made his meals. He had never really seen her. Not really. But she had seen him. She had seen him better than his own brother had. Okay, he said quietly. Let's do it. Let's catch the person who wants me dead. Jessica nodded, wiping her eyes. We need to start tomorrow. First thing in the morning, I'll contact my cousin. We'll set everything up. But sir, there's something important you need to know. What? For this to work, you can't tell anyone. Not your friends. Not your business partners. Not anyone. As far as the world knows, you'll be dead. Really dead. And you'll have to stay dead until we catch Caleb. That could take days. Maybe even weeks. I understand, Jude said. And one more thing, Jessica added, her voice dropping to barely a whisper. From now until this is over, trust no one. No one except me and the police officers we're working with. Because we don't know who else is involved. That man I heard talking with Caleb? He could be anyone. A staff member. A business partner. A friend. Anyone. So please, sir. Be careful. Watch everything. Question everything. Jude nodded slowly. The rain had started again, harder than before. Lightning flashed across the sky, lighting up the room for just a second. In that brief moment of light, Jessica saw something in Jude's face that hadn't been there before. Fear. Real, pure fear. Jessica, Jude said quietly. What if we're wrong? What if you misheard? What if? I didn't mishear, Jessica said firmly. I know what I heard. And sir, there's something I didn't tell you yet. Something that proves this is real. Jude's heart started beating faster. What is it? Jessica reached into her apron pocket and pulled out a small piece of paper. Her hands were shaking as she handed it to him. I found this in the library trash can after they left. I think it fell out of someone's pocket. Jude unfolded the paper. His blood turned to ice. Written in handwriting he recognized immediately, his brother's handwriting, were just 4 words. Friday night. We get it done. The paper slipped from Jude's fingers and floated to the floor like a dead leaf. Outside, thunder roared like an angry beast. And somewhere across the city, Caleb Davies was sleeping peacefully, counting down the hours until his brother would die. But what Caleb didn't know, what he couldn't possibly know, was that his brother was about to disappear. About to become a ghost. About to watch from the shadows while Caleb revealed his true, evil heart. Jessica picked up the paper and put it back in her pocket. Tomorrow, sir. Tomorrow we begin. Get some rest if you can. She turned to leave, but Jude called out, Jessica? She stopped at the door. Thank you, he said softly. For being brave enough to tell me. For caring enough to help. Thank you. Jessica smiled, but it was a sad smile. Don't thank me yet, sir. This is just the beginning. The dangerous part hasn't even started. She left, closing the door quietly behind her. Jude sat alone in his dark bedroom, staring at nothing. His whole life had changed in 20 minutes. Tomorrow, he would begin planning his own death. And somewhere in this city, his brother was planning it too. The question that burned in Jude's mind as he finally lay down on his bed was simple but terrifying. When the trap was finally set and Caleb walked into it, what other secrets would come crawling out of the shadows? What else had his brother been hiding all these years? And most terrifying of all, who else was involved in the plan to kill him? Morning came too fast. Jude had barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw his brother's face. Smiling. Laughing. Plotting his death. At 6 in the morning, Jessica knocked softly on his door. Sir? Are you awake? Jude opened the door. His eyes were red and tired. I couldn't sleep. I understand, Jessica said. She looked around carefully, then whispered, My cousin is here. Detective Raymond Cooper. He's waiting in the garden house. No one saw him come in. He used the back gate. Jude's stomach tightened. This was really happening. Let me get dressed. 10 minutes later, Jude walked through his beautiful garden to the small guest house at the back of his property. The sun was just starting to rise, painting the sky pink and orange. It should have been a beautiful morning. Instead, it felt like the last morning of his life. Inside the garden house, a man in plain clothes stood looking out the window. He was tall and serious looking, with sharp eyes that seemed to see everything. "Mr. Davies," the man said, turning around. "I'm Detective Raymond Cooper. Jessica has told me everything. And I believe her." Jude felt a tiny bit of relief. "You do?" "Yes, sir. Because this isn't the first time we've heard Caleb Davies' name." Raymond pulled out a folder from his bag. "For the past 6 months, we've been investigating some strange business deals. Money disappearing from company accounts. Fake contracts. Shell companies. Your brother's name keeps coming up in some of them, but we've never had enough proof to do anything about it." Jude felt sick. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying your brother has been stealing from your company for months. Maybe years. And now that we know he's planning something worse, it all makes sense. He's been preparing. Getting money ready so he can run if he needs to. Setting up a new life somewhere far away." Jude sat down hard on the couch. "I trusted him with everything. He's been the financial manager of our company for 10 years. "That's exactly why he was able to do this," Raymond said gently. "He had access to everything. And you trusted him completely. That's what family does, they trust each other. He used that trust like a weapon." Jessica brought Jude a glass of water. His hands were shaking as he took it. "So what do we do now?" Jude asked. Raymond sat down across from him. "Here's the plan. Today is Wednesday. You said the note mentioned Friday night. That gives us 2 days to prepare. First, I'm going to put listening devices in your office, your library, and anywhere else Caleb might talk when he thinks he's alone. I'm also going to put a team on him. They'll follow him everywhere, see who he talks to, where he goes." "Won't he notice?" Jude asked. "No. My team is very good. They'll be invisible." Raymond pulled out more papers. "Second, we need to stage your death perfectly. We'll do it Thursday night, tomorrow night. That way, Caleb will think his plan worked early. He'll be caught off guard. Might make mistakes." "How will we do it?" Jude asked. Jessica stepped forward. "I've been thinking about this all night, sir. You always work late on Thursday nights. You stay in your office until midnight sometimes. Tomorrow night, you'll do the same thing. At 11 o'clock, I'll bring you your usual drink, whiskey on ice. But this time, the glass will already have a special chemical on it. It won't hurt you, but it will make you look sick. Very sick." Raymond continued, "The chemical is something we use in undercover operations. It will make your skin turn pale and cold. Your heartbeat will slow down so much that only special equipment can detect it. You'll look dead. Feel dead. But you'll be alive." Jude's throat felt tight. "How long will I be like that?" "About 30 minutes. Then we'll give you another chemical that reverses it. But during those 30 minutes, we need everyone to believe you're really dead. The staff. Any visitors. Everyone." "What about a doctor?" Jude asked. "Won't people expect a doctor to examine me?" Raymond smiled slightly. "We have a doctor working with us. Dr. Stephen Hall. He'll be called to the house. He'll examine you and pronounce you dead from a heart attack. Too much stress. Too much work. Everyone will believe it because everyone knows rich businessmen die from heart attacks all the time." Jessica added, "And sir, it has to look real. That means you'll be taken to the morgue. Put in the morgue cooler. But don't worry, we'll have officers there. They'll get you out within an hour and take you to the safe house." Jude felt like he was in a nightmare. "I'll be in the morgue? With dead bodies?" "No. Only for a short time," Raymond said. "I know it sounds terrible. But it's the only way to make this believable. If Caleb suspects anything, if he thinks for 1 second that you're alive, the whole plan falls apart. And then you really will be in danger." Jude stood up and walked to the window. Outside, his gardener was watering the flowers. His cook was probably making breakfast. His driver was probably washing the car. All of them doing normal things on a normal day. They had no idea that in 24 hours, their boss would be dead. Fake dead. But dead. "What happens after I'm dead?" Jude asked quietly. Raymond stood beside him. "That's when we watch Caleb very carefully. We'll have cameras in your office here at home. We'll have listening devices everywhere he might go. When he comes to your house to mourn you, we'll be recording every word. Every action. Eventually, he'll reveal himself. He'll talk to his accomplice. He'll make plans to take over the company. He'll do something that proves he wanted you dead. And then? Jude asked. And then we arrest him. We bring him in. And we make sure he never hurts anyone again. Jessica touched Jude's arm gently. Sir, I know this is scary. I know it feels wrong. But it's the only way to catch him. The only way to stay alive. Jude turned to look at her. This woman who cleaned his house. Who made his meals. Who had risked everything to save him. You could have just quit, Jessica. You could have walked away and never looked back. No, sir, Jessica said firmly. I couldn't. Because I know what it's like to lose someone you love to evil people. My father was killed when I was 12 years old. Someone he trusted. Someone he thought was his friend. That person was never caught. Never punished. I've lived with that pain my whole life. I couldn't let the same thing happen to you if I could stop it. Jude felt tears burning in his eyes. He blinked them away. Okay. Let's do this. Let's catch my brother. But I need to know something first. What? Raymond asked. What if he doesn't reveal himself? What if he's too smart? Too careful? What if we do all this and we still can't prove anything? Raymond's face became very serious. Then, Mr. Davies, you'll have to stay dead. Forever. You'll have to leave this city, change your name, and start a completely new life somewhere far away. Because if we can't catch Caleb, and you come back to life, he'll just try again. And next time, we might not be able to stop him. The room went silent. The only sound was the ticking of a clock on the wall. Tick, tick, tick. Each second bringing Friday closer. I understand, Jude said finally. So we better make sure we catch him. Raymond nodded. We will. Now, let's go over the plan one more time. Every detail. Every step. Because we only get one chance at this. If we mess up, people die. Real death. Not fake death. For the next 3 hours, they planned everything. Where Jude would sit in his office. How he would hold his glass. What he would say before he collapsed. How Jessica would scream for help. How the staff would react. How the ambulance would come. How Dr. Hall would examine the body. How the morgue would receive him. How the officers would sneak him out. Where the safe house was. What name he would use. Everything. By the time they finished, Jude's head was spinning with details. But he understood the plan perfectly. Tomorrow night, he would die. I need to set up the equipment now, Raymond said, standing up. I'll come in as a repairman. Cable company. No one will question it. Jessica, you'll let me in? Yes, Jessica said. Good. Mr. Davies, you need to act completely normal today. Go to work. Have meetings. Talk to people. Especially talk to Caleb. Let him see that you suspect nothing. Can you do that? Jude thought about facing his brother. Looking into his eyes. Shaking his hand. Knowing that Caleb wanted him dead. Knowing that Caleb had been stealing from him. Knowing that every smile was a lie. Yes, Jude said, his voice hard. I can do that. One more thing, Raymond said as he packed up his folder. From this moment on, be very careful what you eat and drink. Only eat food that Jessica prepares with her own hands. Only drink from bottles that you open yourself. Caleb might try something before Friday. He might try to poison you at lunch. At dinner. Anywhere. Fear shot through Jude's chest. You really think he'd do it that fast? I think your brother is desperate and dangerous, Raymond said. So yes. I think he might try anything at any time. That's why we're moving fast. That's why we're doing this tomorrow instead of waiting. Jude nodded slowly. He suddenly felt very, very tired. Okay. I'll be careful. Raymond put a hand on Jude's shoulder. You're doing the right thing, Mr. Davies. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. I know it feels like your whole world is falling apart. But you're brave. And we're going to get through this together. After Raymond left through the back gate, Jude and Jessica walked slowly back to the main house. The sun was fully up now. The day had begun. Jude's last normal day. Sir. Jessica said quietly as they reached the back door. Yes? No matter what happens, I want you to know something. You're not alone. I'm with you. Detective Cooper is with you. We're going to protect you. I promise. Jude looked at this woman who had saved his life. This brave, smart, kind woman who he had barely noticed for 3 years. How can I ever repay you for this? Jessica smiled. Just stay alive, sir. That's all the payment I need. Inside the house, the cook had made breakfast. Toast. Eggs. Fresh juice. It smelled wonderful. But Jude couldn't eat. His stomach was twisted in knots. At 8 o'clock, his phone rang. He looked at the screen. His heart nearly stopped. It was Caleb. Answer it, Jessica whispered. Act normal. Jude took a deep breath and answered. Hello? Brother. Caleb's voice was cheerful and warm. So warm. So fake. Good morning. How are you? I'm fine, Jude said, trying to keep his voice steady. Just having breakfast. What's up? I was thinking we should have lunch today. That new restaurant downtown. The Italian place. My treat. We haven't spent quality time together in weeks. Jude's blood ran cold. Lunch. Was this it? Was this when Caleb would try to poison him? Jessica was watching him closely. She shook her head slightly. Don't go. Actually, I can't today, Jude said quickly. I have back-to-back meetings. Super busy. Maybe next week. There was a pause on the other end. A long pause. Too long. Next week, Caleb said slowly. Sure. Next week. No problem. But something in his voice had changed. Something cold had crept in. Is everything okay? Jude asked, pretending not to notice. Everything's perfect, Caleb said, and the warmth was back. But it sounded forced now. Fake. Actually, I'll probably see you tomorrow night anyway. I'm planning to stop by your house. We need to go over some company finances. Some accounts that need your signature. Tomorrow night. Thursday night. The night Jude was supposed to die. Sure, Jude said. Come by around 8. I'll be home. Perfect, Caleb said. See you then, brother. Love you. Love you too, Jude forced himself to say. The words felt like poison in his mouth. He hung up. Jessica came over immediately. Sir, you're shaking. He wants to come here tomorrow night, Jude said. He wants to be here when it happens. He wants to watch me die. Jessica's face went pale. Then we'll be ready for him. Detective Cooper will have everything set up by then. Every camera. Every microphone. We'll catch every word he says. Jude put his phone down on the table. His hand was trembling. Jessica, what if I can't do this? What if I see him and I break down? What if I can't pretend everything is fine? Jessica took his hand in both of hers. You can do this, sir. You're stronger than you think. And remember, you're not just doing this for yourself. You're doing this for justice. For truth. To stop an evil person from hurting anyone else. Jude nodded. She was right. This was bigger than just him now. Okay, he said. I'll go to work. I'll have my meetings. I'll act normal. And tomorrow night, I'll die. He stood up and walked to his bedroom to get dressed for work. As he put on his expensive suit and his gold watch, he looked at himself in the mirror. This might be the last time he wore these clothes. The last time he was Jude Davies, businessman, millionaire, respected member of society. Tomorrow, he would become no one. A ghost. A shadow. And his brother would finally show his true face. Jude drove to his office building downtown. The drive felt strange. Everything looked normal. People walking to work. Cars honking. The sun shining. But nothing was normal. Nothing would ever be normal again. At his office, his secretary greeted him with a smile. Good morning, Mr. Davies. You have 3 meetings today. The first one starts in 20 minutes. Thank you, Patricia, Jude said. He walked into his huge office on the top floor. Windows overlooking the whole city. Leather chairs. A mahogany desk. Paintings worth thousands of dollars on the walls. This was his kingdom. The empire he had built. And his brother wanted to take it all. Jude sat down at his desk and opened his laptop. He tried to focus on work, but his mind kept wandering. He kept thinking about tomorrow night. About the fake poison. About falling down. About everyone thinking he was dead. About lying in the morgue with corpses. At noon, his office door opened. Jude looked up. His heart stopped. It was Caleb. His brother stood in the doorway, smiling that perfect smile. He was wearing a blue suit and holding 2 cups of coffee. Surprise. Caleb said. I know you said you were too busy for lunch, so I brought lunch to you. Coffee and sandwiches from that deli you love. He walked in and put one of the coffee cups on Jude's desk. Jude stared at the coffee. Was it poisoned? Was this the moment? Was Caleb trying to kill him right now, one day early? Aren't you going to drink it? Caleb asked, sitting down in the chair across from the desk. It's your favorite. Double espresso. Extra hot. Jude's mind raced. What should he do? If he didn't drink it, Caleb would be suspicious. But if he did drink it, he might die. Really die. Actually, Jude said slowly, I already had 3 cups this morning. My doctor told me to cut back. Too much caffeine. Bad for the heart. Caleb's smile flickered. Just for a second. Just a tiny moment. But Jude saw it. Your heart. Caleb said. Is something wrong with your heart? No, Jude said quickly. Just being careful. You know how it is. I'm not getting any younger. Caleb laughed, but it sounded wrong. Hollow. They talked for a few more minutes. About business. About the weather. About nothing important. But the whole time, Caleb kept glancing at the untouched coffee cup. And Jude kept wondering what was in it. Finally, Caleb stood up. Well, I should let you get back to work. Those meetings won't run themselves. Thanks for stopping by, Jude said. Caleb walked to the door, then stopped and turned around. Hey, Jude? Yeah? You tell me if something was wrong, right? If you were sick or in trouble or anything. We're brothers. We tell each other everything. Jude looked into his brother's eyes. Those eyes that he had known his whole life. Those eyes that were lying to him right now. Of course, Jude said. We tell each other everything. Caleb smiled. Good. See you tomorrow night. 8 o'clock. Don't forget. I won't forget. After Caleb left, Jude sat frozen at his desk. He stared at the coffee cup for a long time. Finally, he picked it up carefully and poured it into a plastic bag. He would give it to Detective Cooper. They could test it. See if there was poison in it. His phone buzzed. A text from Jessica. Sir, Detective Cooper finished installing all the equipment. Everything is ready for tomorrow night. How are you holding up? Jude typed back, Caleb just came to my office. Brought me coffee. I didn't drink it. Saving it for testing. Jessica's response came fast. Good. Smart. Stay strong. Almost there. Almost there. Tomorrow night. Thursday. The night everything would change. Jude looked out his office window at the city below. Somewhere down there, his brother was walking around. Planning. Scheming. Counting down the hours until Jude would be dead. Jude just had to survive until then. The rest of the day dragged by like a nightmare. Every phone call made him jump. Every knock on his door made his heart race. By the time 5 o'clock came, Jude felt like he had aged 10 years. He drove home slowly. The sun was setting, turning the sky blood red. Tomorrow night, that same sun would set on his fake death. And when it rose again, nothing would ever be the same. Jessica was waiting for him at home. Sir, how was the rest of your day? Terrible, Jude said honestly. Every minute felt like an hour. I know, Jessica said softly. But you made it through. And you'll make it through tomorrow too. That night, Jude barely ate dinner. He sat in his study, pretending to work, but really just staring at the walls. At 8 o'clock, there was a soft knock on his door. Come in, he said. Jessica entered, followed by Detective Cooper. Raymond was wearing regular clothes now, not his repairman disguise. Everything is set up, Raymond said quietly. Cameras. Microphones. All hidden perfectly. Tomorrow night, we'll record everything. But sir, I need to prepare you for something. What? Jude asked. When you take the chemical tomorrow night, it's going to feel very strange. You'll feel yourself getting weaker. Colder. Your vision will get blurry. You might even feel like you're dying for real. But I need you to stay calm. Don't fight it. Just let it happen. Trust the process. We'll bring you back. I promise. Jude felt sick. How long will it last? The full effect lasts about 30 minutes. But you'll start feeling it within 2 minutes of drinking it. That's why the timing has to be perfect. Jessica will bring you the whiskey at exactly 11 o'clock. You'll drink it. By 11:02, you'll start feeling weak. By 11:05, you'll collapse. By 11:35, we'll have you in the morgue and give you the reversal chemical. 35 minutes, Jude whispered. 35 minutes of being dead. Fake dead, Jessica corrected gently. You'll be alive the whole time. Your heart will still be beating. Just very, very slowly. Raymond pulled out a small bottle from his pocket. This is the chemical. Jessica will put exactly 3 drops in your whiskey tomorrow night. No more. No less. 3 drops. And sir, this is very important. Once you drink it, you cannot throw it up. You have to keep it down. If you vomit, the whole plan fails. I understand, Jude said, though his stomach was churning at the thought. Good. Raymond put the bottle in Jessica's hand. Tomorrow night, we catch a murderer. Tomorrow night, we save your life. Tomorrow night, we get justice. After Raymond left, Jessica stayed for a moment. Sir, try to get some sleep tonight. Tomorrow will be the hardest day of your life. You need rest. Jessica, Jude said quietly. What if something goes wrong? What if the chemical doesn't work right? What if I really die? Jessica sat down across from him. Sir, I'm going to tell you something my mother told me when I was young and scared. She said, fear is just faith that the bad thing will happen instead of the good thing. Tomorrow, have faith that the good thing will happen. Have faith that we'll catch Caleb. Have faith that you'll survive. Have faith that this nightmare will end. Jude felt tears in his eyes again. How did I get so lucky to have you working for me? You're not lucky, sir, Jessica said with a small smile. You're just a good man who hired a good person. And good people protect each other. That's how the world should work. She stood up to leave. Jessica? Jude called out. She turned. If I don't survive tomorrow, if something goes wrong, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for trying to save me. Thank you for being brave. Jessica's eyes filled with tears. You will survive, sir. I'll make sure of it. Even if I have to protect you with my own life. Then she was gone, closing the door softly behind her. Jude sat alone in his study. Outside, the night was dark and quiet. Tomorrow night at this time, he would be dead. And his brother would finally be revealed as the monster he truly was. Jude walked to his bedroom. He lay down on his expensive silk sheets. He stared at the ceiling. Sleep wouldn't come. His mind was racing with a million thoughts. Would the plan work? Would Caleb confess? Would the chemical be safe? Would he really wake up in the morgue? Or would those 35 minutes turn into forever? At 3 in the morning, Jude finally fell into a restless sleep filled with nightmares. He dreamed of his brother's smiling face. He dreamed of poison. He dreamed of dying. When he woke up at dawn, his sheets were soaked with sweat. It was Thursday morning. His last day alive. Tonight, Jude Davies would die. And the real nightmare would begin. Thursday morning felt different. The air felt heavier. The colors seemed darker. Even the birds outside sounded wrong to Jude's ears. He got out of bed and looked at himself in the bathroom mirror. His face was pale. His eyes had dark circles under them. He looked like a man who was about to die. Maybe that was fitting. At 7 o'clock, there was a soft knock on his bedroom door. Jessica came in with a breakfast tray. Toast. Eggs. Orange juice. All prepared by her own hands, just like Detective Cooper had warned. Good morning, sir, she said quietly. Did you sleep? A little, Jude lied. Maybe 2 hours. Jessica set the tray down on his table. Eat something. Please. You need your strength for tonight. Jude sat down and picked up the fork, but his hand was shaking so badly he could barely hold it. Jessica knelt down beside his chair. Sir, look at me. He looked into her eyes. You can do this, she said firmly. I know you're scared. I know this feels impossible. But you're going to get through today. Hour by hour. Minute by minute. And tonight, when it's all over, you'll be safe. And Caleb will be caught. Just hold on to that thought. Keep it in your mind all day. Jude nodded slowly. He forced himself to eat a few bites of eggs. They tasted like cardboard in his mouth. What's the plan for today? He asked. You're going to go to work, just like always. You have 2 meetings this morning. Then you'll come home for lunch, I'll make it myself. Then you'll work from your home office this afternoon. At 6 o'clock, you'll have dinner, again, made by me. At 7:30, Detective Cooper and his team will be in position outside. At 8 o'clock, Caleb arrives. You'll meet with him in your study. At 11 o'clock, I'll bring you your whiskey. And then. She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. And then I die, Jude said quietly. Fake die, Jessica corrected again. Don't forget that part. Fake. But it didn't feel fake. It felt very, very real. At 7:30, Jude got dressed in his best suit. Dark blue. His lucky suit. He had worn it the day he closed his biggest business deal. The day he became a millionaire. Today, He would wear it to his own death. The drive to work felt like driving to his own funeral. Every street corner looked different. Every building seemed strange. Was this what it felt like to know you were living your last normal day? At his office, Patricia greeted him with her usual cheerful smile. "Good morning, Mr. Davies. You have the Harper meeting at 9 and the Johnson meeting at 10:30. Also, your brother called. He confirmed his coming by tonight at 8. Jude's heart skipped. "Thank you, Patricia." He walked into his office and closed the door. He sat down at his desk and put his head in his hands. 8 o'clock. Caleb would be here at 8. What would his brother say? What would he do? Would he act sad when Jude died? Would he pretend to cry? Would he call an ambulance and act shocked? Or would he smile? The morning meetings were torture. Jude couldn't focus. He kept checking his watch. 9 o'clock. 9:30. 10 o'clock. Time was moving too fast and too slow at the same time. At 11:30, his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Everything is ready. Stay strong. RC. Detective Cooper." The cameras were all set. The microphones were all working. Tonight, every word Caleb said would be recorded. Every action would be captured. At noon, Jude drove home. Jessica had lunch ready, soup and sandwiches. Simple food. Safe food. Food that couldn't be poisoned because Jessica had made it herself and never let it out of her sight. "How are you feeling?" Jessica asked as Jude ate. "Like I'm going to throw up," Jude said honestly. "That's normal. Fear does that. But sir, remember, this will all be over soon. Just a few more hours." A few more hours. That's all. Just a few more hours until he drank poison. Just a few more hours until his heart almost stopped. Just a few more hours until he lay in a morgue freezer with dead bodies. After lunch, Jude went to his home office. He tried to work, but the words on his computer screen blurred together. He couldn't think. Couldn't concentrate. All he could think about was tonight. At 3 o'clock, Jessica brought him tea. "Sir, Detective Cooper just texted me. His team is getting into position. They'll be in an unmarked van across the street. They'll be watching everything." "What if Caleb sees them?" Jude asked. "He won't. They're professionals. They do this all the time." At 5 o'clock, the sun started to set. Jude watched it through his office window. Red and orange and purple spreading across the sky. Beautiful. Peaceful. The complete opposite of how he felt inside. At 6 o'clock, Jessica called him for dinner. Chicken. Rice. Vegetables. Jude forced himself to eat, even though every bite felt like swallowing rocks. "What happens after I collapse?" Jude asked suddenly. Jessica sat down across from him. "I'll scream for help. The other staff will come running. Someone will call 911. The ambulance will arrive in about 8 minutes. It'll be Dr. Hall's ambulance, the doctor working with us. He'll examine you. He'll check your pulse. He'll pronounce you dead. The staff will be crying. Everyone will be shocked. And then?" "And then?" Jude whispered. "And then they'll take you to the morgue. Detective Cooper will follow in an unmarked car. Once you're in the morgue cooler, they'll wait exactly 20 minutes. Then Detective Cooper and Dr. Hall will go in, give you the reversal chemical, and get you out through the back entrance. A different van will be waiting. They'll take you to the safe house on the east side. And you'll wake up there, alive and safe." "What about Caleb? When will he know I'm dead?" "I'll call him myself. Right after the ambulance takes you away. I'll be crying. I'll tell him there was a terrible accident. That you had a heart attack. That you're gone. He'll probably come to the house immediately. And that's when we'll really start watching him." Jude pushed his plate away. He couldn't eat anymore. His stomach was twisted in knots so tight he could barely breathe. At 7 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Jude jumped so hard he nearly fell out of his chair. "It's okay," Jessica said quickly. "That's just Detective Cooper. He's going to do a final check of all the equipment." Jessica let Raymond in through the back door. He was wearing all black, black jacket, black pants, black gloves. He looked like a shadow. "Mr. Davies," Raymond said, shaking Jude's hand. "Tonight's the night. Are you ready?" "No," Jude said honestly. "I'm terrified." "Good. Fear will keep you sharp. Keep you alert." Raymond pulled out a small device from his pocket. "This is a panic button. It's disguised as a pen. Keep it in your shirt pocket. If anything goes wrong, if Caleb tries to hurt you before 11 o'clock, if you feel like you're in real danger, click this button. My team will storm the house within 30 seconds. Jude took the pen with shaking hands. It looked completely normal. But inside was a button that could save his life. Now, Raymond continued, let's go over the timeline one more time. Caleb arrives at 8. You'll meet with him in your study. Talk about business. Act completely normal. At 11 o'clock, Jessica brings the whiskey. You drink it. Within 2 minutes, you'll start feeling the effects. At that point, get up from your desk. Walk toward the door. Make it look like you're trying to get help. Then collapse in the doorway. Make sure you fall where the cameras can see you clearly. What if I fall wrong? What if I hit my head? Jude asked. Jessica will guide your fall. She'll be right there. Trust her. Jessica nodded. I won't let you get hurt, sir. I promise. Raymond checked his watch. It's 7:15. Caleb will be here in 4 to 5 minutes. I need to get into position. Mr. Davies, this is it. This is your chance to catch the person who wants you dead. Don't waste it. Stay calm. Stay focused. And remember, we'll be watching every second. You're not alone. He shook Jude's hand one more time, then disappeared out the back door like a ghost. Jude and Jessica stood in the kitchen, silent. The clock on the wall ticked loudly. Tick, tick, tick. 7:20, 7:30, 7:45. At 7:50, Jessica said, Sir, you should go to your study now. Be sitting at your desk when Caleb arrives. Look busy. Look normal. Jude walked to his study on shaking legs. He sat down at his big leather chair behind his mahogany desk. He turned on his computer. He shuffled some papers around, trying to look like he was working. But his mind was screaming. 7:55. 8 o'clock was coming. Caleb was coming. The man who wanted him dead was coming. At exactly 8 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Jude heard Jessica answer it. He heard voices in the hallway. He heard footsteps coming closer. And then the study door opened. Caleb walked in, smiling his perfect smile. He was wearing an expensive suit and holding a leather briefcase. He looked relaxed. Happy. Like a man who was about to get everything he ever wanted. Brother. Caleb said warmly. Thanks for making time for me tonight. Jude stood up and forced himself to smile back. Of course. Come in. Sit down. They shook hands. Caleb's hand was warm and dry. Confident. The hand of a man with no fear. No guilt. No conscience. They sat down, Caleb in the chair across from the desk, Jude behind the desk. Between them, hidden in the lamp, was a camera. In the bookshelf behind Caleb was a microphone. Every word they said would be recorded. So, Jude said, trying to keep his voice steady, you said something about company finances. Yes, Caleb said, opening his briefcase. He pulled out several folders. There are some accounts that need your signature. Just routine stuff. Transfers. Investments. Nothing major. He spread the papers across the desk. Jude looked at them. His eyes scanned the numbers, but he couldn't focus. All he could think about was the clock. 8:05 now. 2 hours and 55 minutes until he drank the poison. These all look fine, Jude said, signing the papers without really reading them. What did it matter? After tonight, either Caleb would be in jail or Jude would be in hiding forever. Either way, these papers meant nothing. Great, Caleb said, gathering them up. You know, Jude, I've been thinking a lot lately about our relationship. About our partnership. Jude's heart started beating faster. What do you mean? I mean, we've been working together for so long. Since we were kids, really. Building this company. Making it successful. But sometimes I wonder. Caleb paused, looking at Jude with strange eyes. Sometimes I wonder if you appreciate everything I do. All the work I put in behind the scenes. Of course I appreciate it, Jude said carefully. You're my partner. My brother. This company wouldn't exist without you. Caleb smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. That's good to hear. Because you know what I've realized? In this world, there are two types of people. Leaders and followers. Stars and shadows. And I've been a shadow for too long. Jude felt cold sweat running down his back. Caleb, what are you talking about? Nothing, Caleb said quickly, his smile brightening. Just thinking out loud. Ignore me. I'm tired. It's been a long week. They talked about business for the next hour. About clients. About deals. About money. But the whole time, Jude could feel something wrong in the air. Something dark. Caleb kept saying strange things. Hints. Comments that could mean nothing or could mean everything. At 9 o'clock, Caleb said, "You know what's funny? I was reading about heart attacks yesterday. Did you know that stress is the #1 cause? Too much work. Too much pressure. Too much responsibility. Healthy men drop dead all the time from heart attacks." Jude's blood turned to ice. That's very random. Is it? Caleb asked, tilting his head. You work so hard, brother. 12-hour days. 14-hour days. Sometimes I worry about you. I worry that one day, your heart might just give out. There it was. Not a confession. But close. So close. I'm fine, Jude said, his voice tight. I'm healthy. Strong. I'll probably outlive both of us. Caleb's smile flickered. Probably. But you never know, do you? Life is so unpredictable. One moment you're here. The next moment, you're gone. Jude wanted to grab his brother by the collar. Wanted to scream at him. Wanted to ask him why. Why would you do this? Why would you want me dead? What did I ever do to you except love you and trust you? But he couldn't. He had to stay calm. Had to wait. 2 more hours. At 10 o'clock, Caleb stood up. Well, I should probably get going. It's getting late. No. Not yet. If Caleb left now, he wouldn't be here when Jude died. The plan would fail. Wait, Jude said quickly. Stay for a drink. Come on. We barely see each other anymore. Stay. Have some whiskey with me. Caleb hesitated. I don't know. Please, Jude said. Just one drink. Then you can go. Caleb sat back down slowly. Okay. One drink. Jude picked up the phone on his desk and called the kitchen. Jessica? Can you bring 2 glasses of whiskey to my study? Thank you. He hung up. His heart was pounding so hard he thought Caleb might hear it. 10:05. 10:10. 10:15. They talked about nothing. About weather. About sports. But every second felt like an hour. Every minute felt like torture. At 10:30, Caleb checked his watch. Jude, I really should go. Just a little longer, Jude said desperately. The whiskey will be here soon. At 10:45, Caleb stood up again. No, seriously. I have to go. I have an early meeting tomorrow. No. No, no, no. He couldn't leave. Not now. Not when they were so close. And then, like a miracle, there was a knock on the door. Come in, Jude called out. Jessica entered, carrying a silver tray with 2 crystal glasses filled with amber liquid. Whiskey. But one of those glasses had 3 drops of the chemical. 3 drops that would make Jude's heart almost stop. 3 drops that would make him look dead. Which glass was it? Jessica walked toward the desk. Her hands were steady. Her face was calm. She set the tray down carefully between Jude and Caleb. Your whiskey, sir, she said. She looked at Jude. Just for 1 second. Just a tiny glance. Her eyes flicked to the glass on the left side of the tray. That was the one. The left glass. The poisoned glass. Thank you, Jessica, Jude said. She bowed her head slightly and left the room, closing the door behind her. Jude reached for the left glass. His hand was shaking so badly he almost dropped it. Are you okay? Caleb asked, frowning. You look pale. I'm fine, Jude said. Just tired. Like you said, too much work. He lifted the glass to his lips. This was it. The moment everything changed. Once he drank this, there was no going back. He looked at his brother one last time. This man he had grown up with. This man he had loved his whole life. This man who wanted him dead. To family, Jude said quietly. To family, Caleb repeated, lifting his own glass. They both drank. The whiskey burned going down Jude's throat. It tasted normal. Smooth. Expensive. For a moment, he thought maybe the chemical wasn't there. Maybe Jessica had made a mistake. Maybe. And then he felt it. A strange coldness spreading through his chest. Like ice water in his veins. His fingers started to tingle. His vision blurred slightly at the edges. It was working. So, Caleb said, setting down his empty glass, I really should. He stopped. He was staring at Jude. Brother? Are you okay? You look really pale. Jude tried to answer, but his tongue felt thick. Heavy. The room was starting to spin. I don't feel good, Jude managed to say. His voice sounded far away, like it was coming from someone else. He tried to stand up, but his legs wouldn't work right. He grabbed the edge of the desk, trying to steady himself. Jude? Caleb stood up quickly. What's wrong? What's happening? Jude took a step toward the door. His heart was beating so slowly now. So slowly. Each beat felt like it took forever. The coldness was spreading. His arms. His legs. His face. Help, Jude whispered. I need help. He took another step. The room tilted. The floor came up to meet him. He was falling. In slow motion, Jude felt himself collapse. He heard Caleb shout his name. He heard the study door burst open. He heard Jessica scream. And then he was on the floor, staring up at the ceiling. The lights above him were so bright. Too bright. They hurt his eyes. Faces appeared above him. Caleb. Jessica. The cook. The driver. Everyone was shouting. Everyone was crying. But Jude couldn't hear them clearly anymore. Their voices sounded like they were underwater. Call an ambulance. Caleb was yelling. Call 911. Now. Jessica was kneeling beside Jude, her hand on his neck, checking for a pulse. Her face was wet with tears. But when she looked at Jude, just for a second, he saw something in her eyes. A message. Stay strong. Almost there. Hold on. Jude tried to breathe, but his lungs wouldn't work right. Everything was going dark. Darker. Darker. He could feel his heart beating. Thump, thump, thump. Each beat slower than the last. Was this what dying felt like? Was this how it ended? Jude. Stay with me. Caleb was shouting. Don't you dare die. Don't you dare leave me. But Jude couldn't respond. Couldn't move. Couldn't do anything. The darkness was closing in. Like walls pressing against him from all sides. And then, in that darkness, he heard Caleb's voice. Quieter now. Calmer. Finally, Caleb whispered. So quiet that only Jude could hear it. Finally, it's over. That was the last thing Jude heard before everything went black. Darkness. Complete darkness. Jude couldn't see anything. Couldn't feel anything. Couldn't move. Was he dead? Really dead? Had something gone wrong with the chemical? Time passed. He didn't know how much. Seconds? Minutes? Hours? In the darkness, time meant nothing. Then, slowly, he started to hear things. Muffled sounds. Voices far away. A siren wailing. The slam of doors. Wheels rolling across the floor. He was moving. Being carried somewhere. He tried to open his eyes, but they wouldn't obey. Tried to move his fingers, but they stayed frozen. Heart attack, he heard a man's voice say. Massive. He was gone before we got here. Dr. Hall. That was Dr. Hall's voice. The doctor working with Detective Cooper. Are you sure? Another voice. Female. Crying. Jessica. I'm sorry, Dr. Hall said. There was nothing anyone could do. It was very fast. He didn't suffer. More voices. The cook sobbing. The driver saying prayers. And then another voice cut through all the others. Caleb. I can't believe it, Caleb was saying. His voice sounded shocked. Sad. But underneath, was that something else? Something that sounded almost like relief? He was just fine. We were talking. We were having a drink. And then he just collapsed. These things happen, Dr. Hall said gently. Stress. Overwork. Sometimes the heart just gives out without warning. Where are you taking him? Caleb asked. City morgue. Standard procedure. They'll do an autopsy tomorrow to confirm the cause of death. An autopsy. Caleb's voice got sharp. Nervous. Is that really necessary? It's the law, sir. Any sudden death requires an autopsy. There was a pause. Jude could feel people around him. Could sense their presence even though he couldn't see. I understand, Caleb said finally. When can we have the funeral? After the autopsy is complete and the death certificate is issued. Caleb repeated quietly. Okay. Okay. Jude felt himself being lifted. Carried. The sound of doors opening. Cold air hit his face. He was outside now. Being loaded into something. The ambulance. The doors closed. The engine started. They were moving. Inside the ambulance, Dr. Hall's voice came again, but quieter now. Whisper quiet. Mr. Davies, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand. Jude tried. Tried so hard. But his fingers wouldn't move. It's okay, Dr. Hall said. Don't fight it. The chemical is working exactly as it should. Your heart rate is down to almost nothing, but you're alive. You're going to be fine. We're taking you to the morgue now. Detective Cooper is following us. In exactly 20 minutes, we'll give you the reversal chemical. Just hold on. 20 minutes. Jude just had to survive 20 more minutes. The ambulance drove through the city. Jude could hear traffic sounds. Horns honking. People talking on the streets. Normal life continuing while he lay dead in the back of an ambulance. Finally, the ambulance stopped. More sounds. Doors opening. Being carried again. Wheels rolling across smooth floors. The smell changed, antiseptic, chemical, cold. The morgue. Bringing in a fresh one, Dr. Hall said to someone. Jude Davies. Heart attack. Needs to be logged and stored. Bay 7 is open, a bored voice answered. Someone who worked here. Someone who saw dead bodies every day and didn't care anymore. Jude felt himself being transferred onto something hard and cold. Metal. A morgue table. Then he was moving again, rolling. A door opened. A rush of freezing air hit him. The morgue cooler. He was in the morgue cooler. The cold was intense. Piercing. It went through his clothes, through his skin, straight into his bones. Around him, he could sense other bodies. Other dead people waiting for autopsies or funerals or identification. The door closed. Darkness again. Silence. Just the hum of the refrigeration unit. Jude had never felt so alone in his entire life. Minutes crawled by like hours. The cold was unbearable. He couldn't shiver. Couldn't move. Just had to endure it. Then, finally, the door opened again. Clear, a voice whispered. Detective Cooper. Let's move fast, Dr. Hall said urgently. We have maybe 5 minutes before someone notices. Jude felt hands on him. Pulling him off the shelf. Setting him on something with wheels. A gurney. Give him the shot now, Cooper said. A sharp sting in Jude's arm. The reversal chemical. For a moment, nothing happened. Jude wondered if it would work. What if his heart had stopped for too long? What if the damage was permanent? And then, his heart beat. A real beat. Strong. Then another. And another. Air rushed into his lungs. Sweet, beautiful air. His fingers twitched. His eyes fluttered. That's it, Dr. Hall said. Come on, Mr. Davies. Come back. Jude's eyes opened. Blurry at first. Then slowly focusing. He saw Dr. Hall's face above him. And Detective Cooper beside him. Welcome back, Cooper said with a small smile. You're officially dead. Congratulations. Jude tried to speak, but his throat was so dry. So cold. Don't talk yet, Dr. Hall said, putting something warm over Jude's chest. A heated blanket. Your body temperature dropped significantly. We need to warm you up slowly. They were moving now. Rolling through the morgue. Through a back door that opened into a dark alley. A white van was waiting, engine running. They lifted Jude into the back of the van. Jessica was there, tears streaming down her face. Sir, she sobbed. Thank God. Thank God you're okay. The van doors closed. They drove away from the morgue, away from Jude's old life, into the dark city streets. Jude finally found his voice. Did it work? He croaked. Did we get it on camera? Cooper nodded. Every second. From the moment you drank the whiskey until the ambulance left. Caleb's reaction was very interesting. What did he do? Jude asked. After you collapsed, he acted shocked. Sad. Called 911. Did everything a worried brother should do. But Jessica, tell him what happened after the ambulance left. Jessica wiped her eyes. I was watching him, sir. Just like Detective Cooper told me to. After the ambulance took you away, everyone was crying. The staff was devastated. But Caleb, he walked back into your study. I followed him quietly. I watched through the door crack. And? Jude asked. He went to your desk. He sat in your chair. And sir, he smiled. Not a sad smile. A happy smile. He put his feet up on your desk and laughed. Actually laughed. Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. Cooper pulled out a tablet and pressed play. Audio filled the van. Caleb's voice, crystal clear from the hidden microphones. It's done, Caleb was saying. He's dead. The fool actually collapsed right in front of me. Another voice on the phone, the deep rough voice Jessica had heard that night in the library. You're sure he's dead? Really dead? The doctor pronounced him dead. He's on his way to the morgue right now. By tomorrow, I'll be the sole owner of the Davies empire. Everything will be mine. Finally, after all these years of playing second place to my perfect brother, I win. What about the staff? The maid? They're nothing. And honestly, who cares? Jude is gone. That's all that matters. The recording ended. Jude felt like he'd been punched in the stomach. Hearing his brother's voice, so cold, so cruel, so happy about his death, it made everything real. We got him, Cooper said. That recording, plus the paper Jessica found with his handwriting, it's enough to arrest him for attempted murder and conspiracy. When will you arrest him? Jude asked. Not yet, Cooper said. We want to catch everyone involved. That man on the phone, we need to identify him. And we need to see what Caleb does next. Now that he thinks you're dead, he'll move fast. He'll make mistakes. He'll lead us to his accomplices. The van pulled up to a small apartment building on the east side of the city. Run down. Old. Nothing like Jude's mansion. This is your new home, Cooper said. Apartment 3B. You're now John Miller, a warehouse worker. No phone. No computer. No contact with the outside world except through Jessica and me. For all anyone knows, Jude Davies is dead and buried. They helped Jude out of the van and up the stairs to the apartment. It was small. 1 bedroom. 1 bathroom. A tiny kitchen. Furniture from thrift stores. Nothing like what Jude was used to. I know it's not much, Jessica said apologetically. But it's safe. And I'll be here every day. I'll bring you food. Updates. Everything you need. How long will I have to stay here? Jude asked. Days. Maybe weeks, Cooper said. However long it takes to build the full case against Caleb and his accomplices. Can you handle that? Jude looked around the tiny apartment. His prison. His hiding place. The place where Jude Davies would cease to exist. I can handle it, he said. As long as we catch him. As long as justice is served. Cooper nodded. Get some rest. You've been through hell tonight. Jessica will stay with you for a few hours, then she needs to get back to your house. We need her there to keep watch on Caleb. After Cooper left, Jessica helped Jude to the small bed. He lay down, still cold, still shaking from the chemical. Sir, Jessica said quietly. How do you feel? Like I died and came back to life, Jude said honestly. Which I guess I did. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. When I saw you collapse, even though I knew it was fake, my heart stopped. I thought something had gone wrong. I thought I'd killed you. You saved me, Jude said. You saved my life. If you hadn't warned me, if you hadn't been brave enough to tell me what you heard, I'd be really dead right now. Jessica's eyes filled with tears again. I just hope we can catch him. I hope all of this was worth it. We will catch him, Jude said firmly. We have the recording. We have the evidence. It's just a matter of time now. Jessica stayed for 2 more hours, making sure Jude was warm and comfortable. Then, at 3 in the morning, she left to go back to the mansion. Jude lay alone in the dark apartment, staring at the ceiling. He was dead. The world thought he was dead. Tomorrow, the news would spread. Business partners would hear. Friends would hear. His company would be in chaos. And Caleb would step in. Take control. Pretend to grieve while celebrating inside. But Jude would be watching. Waiting. A ghost haunting his own brother. Sleep finally came as the sun started to rise. Friday morning. The day Caleb had originally planned to kill Jude. But Jude had died a day early. Caleb must be thrilled. At 9 o'clock, there was a soft knock on the apartment door. Jude jumped, then remembered, he was safe here. No one knew where he was except Cooper and Jessica. It's me, Jessica's voice called softly. Jude opened the door. Jessica came in carrying bags of food and a laptop. Good morning, sir. I brought breakfast. And Detective Cooper sent this laptop. It's secure. You can watch the camera feeds from your house on it. Jude took the laptop eagerly. What's happening? What's Caleb doing? He arrived at your house an hour ago, Jessica said, setting out food on the small table. He's in your study right now, going through your files. You're safe. Everything. Jude opened the laptop. The screen showed multiple camera angles of his mansion. His study. His bedroom. His office. And there, in the study, was Caleb. His brother was sitting at his desk, Jude's desk, rifling through papers. There was no sadness on his face. No grief. Just cold determination. As Jude watched, Caleb pulled out his phone and made a call. The laptop's audio crackled to life. "It's me," Caleb said. "I'm at the house now. I found the will. Just like we planned, everything goes to me. The company. The houses. The bank accounts. Everything." "Good," the deep voice on the other end said. "What about the funeral?" "I'm planning it for Monday. Small. Private. We'll bury him fast and move on." "And the investigation?" "There is no investigation. The doctor said it was a clear heart attack. Natural causes. The police aren't involved." Caleb laughed. Actually laughed. "We did it, Marcus. We actually did it. My dear brother is dead, and we're rich." "Marcus. So that was the accomplice's name." "Don't celebrate yet," Marcus said. "We need to wait until the autopsy is done. Make sure there's nothing suspicious." "There won't be," Caleb said confidently. "It mimics a heart attack perfectly. The autopsy will show exactly what we wanted to show, natural death. He died before we could kill him." But Caleb was wrong. Because Jude wasn't really dead. And every word Caleb was saying was being recorded. Jude watched his brother for hours. Watched him go through every room of the house. Watched him inventory everything he now owned. Watched him smile and laugh and celebrate. It was torture. "Sir," Jessica said gently, "maybe you shouldn't watch anymore. It's just making you upset." "I need to see this," Jude said through clenched teeth. "I need to see who my brother really is." At noon, Caleb left the mansion. Detective Cooper's team followed him in an unmarked car. The laptop showed their tracking. Caleb drove to a fancy restaurant downtown. Went inside. Met with someone. The camera in Cooper's car zoomed in. The person Caleb was meeting was a large man in an expensive suit. Tattoos on his neck. Scars on his face. "That's Marcus," Jessica whispered. "That's the man Caleb was talking to." They watched as Caleb and Marcus sat at a table, talking and laughing. Celebrating. Drinking champagne like they were at a party. Jude's phone, the secure phone Cooper had given him, buzzed. A text from Cooper: "We've identified Marcus. Marcus Chen, known criminal. Money laundering. Fraud. Assault. He's been on our watch list for years. This is bigger than we thought. Your brother isn't just a murderer. He's been working with organized crime." Jude felt sick. His own brother. Working with criminals. Planning murder. Stealing. How had he not seen this? How had he been so blind? The afternoon dragged on. Jude watched the cameras. Watched his house. Watched his life continue without him. At 4 o'clock, employees from Jude's company started arriving at the mansion. Offering condolences. Bringing flowers. Crying. And Caleb played his part perfectly. He hugged them. Cried with them. Talked about how much he missed his brother. How sudden it was. How tragic. "He was my best friend, my brother," Caleb told one crying employee. "My partner. My everything. I don't know how I'll go on without him." Lies. All lies. "Sir," Jessica said, "the staff is devastated. Everyone loved you. The cook hasn't stopped crying. The driver can barely function. They're all heartbroken." Guilt washed over Jude. All these people mourning him. Suffering because of him. But it was necessary. It was the only way to catch Caleb. At 6 o'clock, Jessica had to leave to help prepare dinner at the mansion. "I'll be back tomorrow morning," she said. "Try to rest. Try not to watch the cameras too much. It's not good for you." But Jude couldn't stop watching. He watched all evening. Watched Caleb eat dinner alone in the mansion. Watched him go into Jude's bedroom and stand there, looking around like he owned it. Because he did now. He owned everything. At 10 o'clock, Caleb made another phone call. "The autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow morning," Caleb said. "By tomorrow afternoon, we'll have the official cause of death. Natural heart attack. And then we can move forward with everything." "What about the company?" Marcus asked. "I'm calling an emergency board meeting for Monday morning. Right after the funeral. I'll be named the new CEO. Everything will be transferred to my name. And then, my friend, we start phase 2. Phase 2. All the deals we've been planning. The shell companies. The offshore accounts. With Jude gone, no one will be watching closely. We can move millions out of the company before anyone notices." Jude's hands clenched into fists. Caleb wasn't just killing him for the inheritance. He was planning to rob the company blind. To steal from all the employees. From all the investors. The phone buzzed again. Cooper, we're hearing all of this. Building the case. Just a little longer, Mr. Davies. We almost have everything we need. Saturday morning came. Jessica arrived early with breakfast and news. The autopsy is happening right now, she said. Dr. Hall is performing it himself. He'll find nothing suspicious, of course, because there's nothing to find. You're not really dead. What about my body? Jude asked. What happens when they open the morgue drawer and I'm not there? Dr. Hall already handled it. He moved another body into your spot. Someone with similar build and age who died of a real heart attack. The paperwork has been switched. As far as anyone knows, that body is you. What about when they bury it? Jude asked. There won't be a burial. Dr. Hall will tell Caleb that due to the autopsy, cremation is recommended. Caleb will agree because he wants to get rid of the evidence as fast as possible. The body will be cremated. And Caleb will be given ashes that aren't yours. It was brilliant. Horrible, but brilliant. The weekend passed in a blur of watching cameras and waiting. Caleb spent the days at the mansion, going through everything. Making plans. Taking meetings with Marcus. Sunday evening, Caleb posted on social media. A long, emotional tribute to his beloved brother. About how Jude was the best man he ever knew. How he'd miss him every day. How he'd carry on Jude's legacy. The post got thousands of likes. Thousands of comments. So sorry for your loss. What a tragedy. Jude Davies was a great man. And Caleb responded to each one with fake gratitude. Fake sadness. Fake love. Jude wanted to scream. Wanted to break something. Wanted to burst out of this apartment and confront his brother right now. But he couldn't. Not yet. Not until Cooper had everything he needed. Monday morning. Funeral day. Jessica arrived at 7 in the morning. Sir, the funeral is at 10. Small service at the church. Then the cremation. Caleb has invited only close business associates. About 50 people. I want to see it, Jude said. I want to watch my own funeral. Detective Cooper said you might say that. He's arranged for you to watch from a van across from the church. But sir, it's going to be hard. Are you sure? I'm sure. At 9:30, Cooper picked up Jude in an unmarked van. They parked across the street from the church. Through the tinted windows, Jude could see people arriving. His employees. His business partners. Some friends. All of them dressed in black. All of them crying. At 10 o'clock, the service started. Jude watched on a monitor in the van, fed from a tiny camera Cooper had planted inside the church. The pastor talked about Jude's life. His accomplishments. His kindness. His generosity. Then Caleb stood up to give the eulogy. My brother, Caleb said, his voice breaking with fake emotion, was the best man I ever knew. He was kind. Smart. Generous. He built an empire, but he never forgot the people around him. He treated everyone with respect. From his employees to his staff to his family. Caleb paused, wiping fake tears from his eyes. Jude and I were more than brothers. We were partners. Best friends. And now I have to continue without him. I have to carry on his legacy. And I promise you all, I will make him proud. I will run the company the way he would have wanted. I will honor his memory every single day. The crowd applauded. People were sobbing. And Caleb stood there, soaking in the attention, the sympathy, the power. Jude felt like he was going to be sick. After the funeral, everyone drove to the crematorium. Jude watched from the van as the casket, carrying someone else's body, was loaded into the cremation chamber. And then it was done. Jude Davies was officially gone. Reduced to ashes. Erased from the world. Are you okay? Cooper asked quietly. No, Jude said honestly. But I will be. Once we catch him. Once this is over. That afternoon, Caleb held the emergency board meeting. Jude watched on the laptop as Caleb stood in the conference room, surrounded by board members. Thank you all for coming during this difficult time, Caleb said. As you know, my brother's sudden death has left the company without leadership. The board needs to vote on a new CEO immediately. And I hope you'll consider me for that position. I've worked alongside Jude for over a decade. I know this company inside and out. I know what he would have wanted. The board voted. Unanimously, they chose Caleb as the new CEO. Caleb smiled. That cold, cruel smile Jude had come to recognize. Thank you, Caleb said. I won't let you down. Starting tomorrow, we'll be implementing some changes. Some new financial strategies. Some new deals. It's what Jude would have wanted. After the meeting, Caleb went back to the mansion. Back to Jude's study. And he made another call to Marcus. It's done, Caleb said. I'm CEO. Everything is in place. Tomorrow, we start moving the money. How much? Marcus asked. 5 million to start. Then another 10 million next month. In 4 months, we'll have drained 30 million from the company and moved it offshore. No one will notice until it's too late. You're sure about this? I'm positive. Jude is gone. The company is mine. And no one suspects a thing. Cooper was listening to the entire conversation. He turned to Jude with a grim smile. That's it. That's everything we need. Confession to murder conspiracy. Confession to embezzlement. Confession to fraud. We have him. When do we arrest him? Jude asked, his heart pounding. Tonight, Cooper said. We move tonight. We'll catch him at the mansion. We'll catch Marcus too. And Mr. Davies, would like you to be there. Would you like to see your brother's face when he realizes you're alive? Jude thought about it. Thought about the moment Caleb would see him. The shock. The fear. The realization that everything had failed. Yes, Jude said. I want to be there. I want to see his face when his world falls apart. Cooper nodded. Then let's go catch a killer. Monday night. 8 o'clock. The city was dark and quiet. Jude sat in the back of Detective Cooper's unmarked van, wearing a bulletproof vest under his jacket. His heart was pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. Remember the plan, Cooper said, checking his gun. We go in first. Secure the area. Arrest Caleb. Only then do you come inside. We can't risk him hurting you if he panics. I understand, Jude said. But his hands were shaking with anticipation and anger. Around them, 5 other police vehicles were hidden in the darkness. 20 officers, all ready to move. This wasn't just about catching Caleb anymore. This was about stopping a criminal organization. About preventing $30 million from being stolen. About justice. Jessica was already inside the mansion. She had texted Cooper 10 minutes ago, Caleb is in the study. Alone. Drinking wine. Celebrating. Of course he was celebrating. He thought he'd won. Thought he'd gotten away with murder. Thought he was rich and powerful and untouchable. He was about to learn how wrong he was. All units, move in, Cooper said into his radio. Silent approach. No sirens. I want him caught before he knows we're there. The officers moved like shadows through the darkness. They surrounded the mansion from all sides. Front door. Back door. Windows. Every exit covered. Jude watched from the van, his breath catching in his throat. This was it. The moment everything came together. The moment his brother would pay for his crimes. Cooper and 4 officers approached the front door. Jessica opened it from inside, her face pale but determined. He's still in the study, she whispered. He doesn't know you're here. Cooper nodded and moved silently through the house. Jude watched on a tablet showing the camera feeds. He saw the officers creeping down the hallway. Saw them position themselves outside the study door. Inside the study, Caleb was sitting at Jude's desk, his desk now, laughing on the phone with Marcus. I'm telling you, it was perfect, Caleb was saying. The funeral was beautiful. Everyone crying. Everyone telling me how strong I am. How proud Jude would be. If they only knew. Cooper raised his hand. Counted down with his fingers. 3, 2, 1. The study door burst open. Police. Hands in the air. Now. Caleb jumped up from the chair, his phone clattering to the desk. His face went white with shock. What is this? What's going on? Caleb Davies, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, fraud, and embezzlement. Cooper walked forward, handcuffs ready. You have the right to remain silent. This is insane. Caleb shouted. Murder? What murder? My brother died of a heart attack. Natural causes. Did he? Cooper asked calmly. Or did you plan to poison him? Did you plan his death with your accomplice, Marcus Chen? Caleb's face changed. Fear flickered in his eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. I loved my brother. His death was a tragedy. Really? Because we have recordings that say otherwise. We have you on tape planning to poison him. Admitting to planning his murder. Celebrating his death. That's impossible, Caleb said, but his voice was shaking now. You're lying. You're trying to trick me. Cooper pulled out a phone and pressed play. Caleb's voice filled the room. It's done. He's dead. The fool actually collapsed right in front of me. He died before we could kill him. Caleb's face went from white to gray. That's not, you can't. We can, Cooper said. We have everything, Caleb. Every phone call. Every conversation. Every confession. It's over. No, Caleb whispered. He looked around wildly, like a trapped animal. No, this can't be happening. This can't. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Wait. Caleb shouted desperately. You don't understand. It was Marcus. Marcus made me do it. He threatened me. I didn't want to kill Jude. I had no choice. Save it for the judge, Cooper said coldly, snapping the handcuffs on Caleb's wrists. Caleb was breathing hard, panicking. Please, you have to believe me. I'm innocent. Marcus is the criminal. I'm the victim here. You're the victim, a voice said from the doorway. Everyone turned. Jude Davies stepped into the study. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Caleb's eyes went wide. So wide they looked like they might pop out of his head. His mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. Hello, brother, Jude said quietly, walking into the room. Surprised to see me? Caleb staggered backward like he'd been shot. No, this isn't real. You're dead. I saw you die. I watched you collapse. You watched me fake my death, Jude corrected. The chemical Jessica put in my whiskey didn't kill me. It just made me look dead. Made my heart slow down so much that even a doctor couldn't detect it. But I was alive the whole time. Alive and watching you. Caleb's face went through a dozen emotions in seconds. Shock. Disbelief. Confusion. And then, slowly, understanding. And with understanding came pure, raw fear. The maid, Caleb whispered, looking at Jessica who stood in the corner. She knew. She was working with you. She saved my life, Jude said. She overheard you planning to kill me. She warned me. And together, we set a trap. A trap you walked right into. Caleb was shaking his head, backing away even though there was nowhere to go. Officers blocked every exit. This isn't possible. The autopsy. The body. The cremation. I watched them cremate your body. That wasn't my body, Jude said. That was someone else. Someone who really did die of a heart attack. While you were celebrating my death, I was hiding. Watching. Recording every word you said. Every crime you committed. You tricked me, Caleb breathed. Yes, Jude said simply. The same way you tricked me for years. All those smiles. All those hugs. All those times you said you loved me. All lies. While the whole time, you were stealing from our company. Planning my death. Hating me. Caleb's face twisted with sudden rage. All the fake sadness, all the fake shock disappeared. What was left was ugly. Pure hatred. You're right. Caleb screamed. I did hate you. I hated you from the time we were children. Father loved you more. Everyone loved you more. You got everything. The praise. The respect. The glory. While I got nothing but scraps. I worked just as hard as you. Did just as much. But did anyone care? No. It was always Jude this and Jude that, and Jude is so wonderful. So you plan to kill me? Jude asked, his voice breaking. Your own brother? Because you were jealous. It wasn't just jealousy. Caleb shouted. It was justice. You didn't deserve everything you had. I deserved it. I earned it. And yes, I planned to kill you. I planned it for months. Marcus helped me find the perfect poison. Helped me plan the perfect crime. And it would have worked. But it didn't, Cooper said. Because you underestimated the people around your brother. You thought Jessica was just a maid. Someone too unimportant to matter. But she was brave enough to risk everything to save him. Caleb looked at Jessica with pure hatred. You ruined everything. Everything. I was so close. Jessica stared back at him, unafraid. You ruined yourself, Mr. Caleb. Your greed. Your hatred. Your evil heart. That's what ruined you. Get him out of here, Cooper said to the other officers. Take him downtown. Book him on all charges. As the officers started to drag Caleb toward the door, he suddenly lunged at Jude. His hands were cuffed, but his face was twisted with rage. "You should be dead." Caleb screamed. "Dead? I wish I had killed you with my own hands. I wish I had watched you suffer." The officers pulled him back, but Caleb kept screaming. "I hate you. I've always hated you. You destroyed my life just by existing. Everything would have been mine if you'd never been born." "Take him away," Cooper ordered. They dragged Caleb out of the study, still screaming, still fighting. His voice echoed through the mansion as they pulled him outside. "This isn't over. You hear me, Jude? This isn't over. I'll get out. I'll come back. And next time, I'll finish what I started." Then he was gone. The front door slammed shut. The mansion went quiet. Jude stood frozen in his study. His legs felt weak. He grabbed the edge of the desk to steady himself. "Sir," Jessica said softly, coming to his side. "Are you okay?" "My brother just told me he wishes I was dead," Jude said, his voice hollow. "He screamed it in my face. He meant every word." "I know," Jessica said gently. "I'm so sorry." Cooper's phone rang. He answered it, listened for a moment, then smiled. "Marcus Chen has been arrested at his apartment. He's in custody. We got him too." "How much evidence do we have?" Jude asked. "Enough to put them both away for 20 years minimum," Cooper said. "The recordings. The paper with the plan written in Caleb's handwriting. The financial records showing the embezzlement. Testimony from Jessica about what she overheard. And Caleb's confession just now, we got all of that on camera too. The case is solid. They're done." Jude walked to the window and looked out at the city lights. Just a week ago, he'd stood in this same spot, trusting his brother completely. Never imagining the evil that lived in Caleb's heart. "What happens now?" Jude asked quietly. "Now you come back to life," Cooper said. "We'll issue a statement. Tell the press that there was a threat against your life, that we faked your death to catch the criminals. Your employees will be shocked but relieved. Your friends will celebrate. And you'll get your life back." "Will I?" Jude asked. "Can I ever really get it back after this?" Cooper put a hand on his shoulder. "You're alive, Mr. Davies. Your brother is going to prison. Your company is safe. You won. That's more than most people get." But it didn't feel like winning. It felt like losing everything. Losing his brother. Losing his trust. Losing his innocence. Jessica came to stand beside him. "Sir, I know this is hard. I know you're hurting. But you did the right thing. You stopped an evil man from hurting more people. You saved your company. You saved yourself." "At what cost?" Jude asked. "At the cost of learning the truth," Jessica said. "And the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than living a lie." They stood there in silence for a long moment. Outside, Jude could hear the police cars driving away. Taking Caleb to jail. Taking Marcus to jail. Taking away the last pieces of Jude's old life. "You should rest," Cooper said. "You've been through hell this week. Go to bed. Sleep in your own bed for the first time in days. Tomorrow, we'll start putting your life back together." After Cooper left, Jude and Jessica stood alone in the study. "Sir," Jessica said, "I need to tell you something." "What?" "When I first started working for you 3 years ago, I thought you were just another rich man. Someone who had everything and appreciated nothing. But I was wrong. Over the years, I saw your kindness. Your generosity. The way you treated people with respect, no matter who they were. You're a good man, Mr. Davies. Don't let your brother's evil make you forget that." Jude felt tears burning in his eyes. "Thank you, Jessica. For everything. You saved my life. I can never repay you for that." "You already have, sir. Remember? When my mother was sick, you paid her hospital bills. You didn't have to do that. You barely knew me. But you did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. That's who you are. That's the man worth saving." Jude pulled Jessica into a hug. She hugged him back, both of them crying now. Crying for everything they'd been through. Everything they'd survived. "What will you do now?" Jessica asked when they finally pulled apart. "I don't know," Jude admitted. "Tomorrow I'll have to face the company. Face the press. Tell everyone what happened. But tonight I just want to be alive. To breathe. To remember that I'm still here." Jessica smiled through her tears. "That sounds like a good plan, sir." She started to leave, but Jude called out. "Jessica?" "Yes, sir?" "You're not just my maid anymore. You're my friend. My hero. And when all of this is over, I'm promoting you. Head of security. Head of operations. Whatever you want. You've earned it. Jessica's eyes went wide. Sir, I don't know what to say. Say yes, Jude said with a small smile. Say you'll stay. Say you'll help me rebuild. Yes, Jessica said, smiling back. Of course. I'll stay. After she left, Jude walked through his mansion. Every room felt different now. Haunted by memories of his brother. Haunted by the knowledge that evil had walked these halls for years and he'd never seen it. He went to his bedroom and lay down on his bed. His real bed. Not the tiny apartment bed. Not the morgue slab. His own bed in his own house. He was alive. Against all odds, against his brother's plans, against everything, he was alive. And tomorrow, Jude Davies would rise from the dead. Would face the world. Would rebuild his life piece by piece. But tonight, he would rest. 3 months later. The courtroom was packed. Reporters. Employees. Curious citizens. Everyone wanted to see the trial of Caleb Davies. Jude sat in the front row, Jessica beside him. They'd both testified earlier in the week. Told their story. Showed the evidence. Now it was time for the verdict. The jury filed back in after 3 hours of deliberation. Jude's heart pounded as the judge asked, "Have you reached a verdict?" "We have, Your Honor," the jury foreman said. "On all counts, we find the defendant, Caleb Davies, guilty." The courtroom erupted. Reporters shouted questions. People cheered. Caleb's lawyer started arguing for an appeal. But it was over. Caleb was guilty. Marcus Chen had been found guilty last month and was already in prison. The organization they'd worked with was being dismantled piece by piece. Justice had been served. The judge banged his gavel. Order. Order in the court. When everyone quieted down, he continued. Caleb Davies, you have been found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, fraud, embezzlement, and racketeering. I hereby sentence you to 30 years in prison without possibility of parole. Caleb's face went white. No, this isn't right. I demand an appeal. You may file for an appeal, the judge said coldly. But I doubt it will change anything. The evidence against you is overwhelming. Take him away. As the officers led Caleb out of the courtroom, he turned one last time to look at Jude. But this time, there was no rage in his eyes. Just sadness. Just the realization that he'd thrown away everything for greed and jealousy. I'm sorry, Caleb mouthed silently. But it was too late for sorry. Too late for apologies. Too late for anything. Jude watched his brother disappear through the doors, probably for the last time in his life. He felt nothing. No happiness. No satisfaction. Just emptiness where love used to be. It's over, Jessica said quietly beside him. It's finally over. Yes, Jude said. It's over. In the end, Jude got the greatest revenge of all. Inspired or heartbroken? Let us know in the comment. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. Comment where you're watching from and your thoughts. If would like to donate to help us keep sharing these life-changing stories, check the link in the description to support. Every dollar counts and we're truly grateful for your support. Thank you, and see you in the next video.